The Swamp in Gainesville on the first Saturday in October. A Florida receiver's dream game would become a nightmare in one play, giving Alabama a chance it would quickly capitalize on. 60 minutes was not enough. The unlikely left the gift of chance at Bama's door again. The unthinkable was cause for Florida's sideline jubilation. But wait. A season-long enemy gave Alabama one more try, and that's all it would need to turn on the Gator tears for the triumphant Tide. Now it's 63 days later. They come from east and west to a central hot spot in Atlanta. At stake, the SEC Conference Championship, a ring, and for their fans, the bragging rights for the next season. It's the 1999 Southeastern Conference Championship football game brought to you by Dr. Pepper. And what a game it should be. Two teams that met 63 days ago get ready to do it again. The 9th-ranked Crimson Tide of the University of Alabama, number 6 Florida, and a 9-2 record as well for Steve Spurrier's bunch. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Welcome to Atlanta. Certainly, these two teams are no strangers to each other in this game. This is the 5th time this decade these same two clubs will get together for the conference championship. Both have used this game as well as a springboard to a national title. 92 for Alabama, 96 for Florida. Florida was hoping that was going to be the case again this year, but as my partner Bob Greasy will tell you, 2 weeks ago Florida State had other ideas, and now they come into this game and everybody's wondering where their head's going to be after that loss to the Noles.
Well, Florida is struggling. Steve told us that the other day. They're not a confident team. They're changing quarterbacks, but he likes this game. He likes the SEC championship game. They've been here 5 times, and they've won it 4 times. I think his offense will play very well tonight.
Well, one team's on the upswing. That seems to be Alabama right now. Mike DuBose, through all the problems early in the year, has his team right where he wanted them to be, but it's very hard to beat a team twice in a season.
It is, and if two teams, both these teams are 9-2, Florida's frowning, and Alabama is smiling. Nobody thought they'd be here, but you'd have to be a fool to think you could beat one of these teams the same way, and there are no fools here tonight. Alabama has to run the football, and Mike DuBose knows that. The first time Andrew Zhao had a career night throwing it, he won't have that tonight. You got to run it.
We're going to see 4 quarterbacks without a doubt in this game. Swanee, they're all set for a rematch.
That's the first time two teams have met in the regular season and then in the championship, and the noise will be a factor just like that first game. But let's take a look at the stats from that first game to see what happened. You look at the time of possession, offensive plays that Alabama dominated in, but they won the game by the necessary 1 point. They didn't have as many yards. Look, you have to remember one thing about a rematch. It's not necessarily a rehash of the same thing. Don't look for the teams to perform the same way. And Steve Spurrier knows his team has the most room for improvement. His team can do much better. But keep in mind, Alabama's got Shaun Alexander, the big star in this ballgame.
5 SEC titles this decade. Steve Spurrier with 102 wins over the course of the 90s. Mike DuBose in his 3rd season. His first appearance in an SEC championship game. He remembers the last one as an assistant to Gene Stallings. We're all set for the 99 edition of the SEC Championship. A sold-out Georgia Dome already rocking. Florida won the toss. They'll get the football first. Bearden's got it teed up. And Bo Carroll and John Capel wait on the other end, and we're underway in Atlanta. Bo Carroll draws a bead from the 8-yard line. Finds himself an opening. He's got unbelievable speed, and he's out to the 44-yard line. That's the way you want to start a game. 37-yard kick return. So Jesse Palmer will bring out the Florida offense. He got the nod earlier this week from Steve Spurrier. Doug Johnson, longtime starter, and Jesse just making his 9th appearance as the starting signal caller.
And only his 2nd start of the year. He started against South Carolina in the 10th game, and now he starts here in the 12th game.
3 wideout set for the Gators to open things from their own 45-yard line. And on the ground they go. Not too much. Helmet came loose. Ball came loose. Penalty marker on the play. Alabama's got the football. But again, there's a penalty marker down.
I'd have to guess since the helmet came off, that might be a face mask that pulled the helmet out of there.
Ernest Graham got the carry, lost his headgear.
Yeah, no question.
And Florida's going to keep it. Bob, you're right.
Somebody in the center of that line, one of those defensive tackles, just pulled it off. It may have been Gilbert.
Here's a call.
The ball carrier was down, the ball was in, the helmet came off. We have a personal foul. Face mask here.
A little bit of everything. The helmet came off, the face mask, the personal foul, and the runner was down, he says.
Right here, number 99, Gilbert, right there, just pulls it off. A lot of action here on the first play of the game.
Gilbert with a penalty. That'll move the line of scrimmage all the way to the 38-yard line of Alabama. So they got the great kick return to open the game. They get a decent run and a penalty, and all of a sudden, they're inside the Tide 40. Palmer, play action. Fires the deep out. Got his man. Broken tackle by Darrell Jackson down the sideline. All the way to the 6. First and goal, Florida. Miguel Merritt saved a touchdown.
Well, a struggling Florida offense who's only thrown 5 touchdown passes in the last 4 games comes out and completes their first pass. A little play action. You throw it to your leading receiver, Jackson, on a little out route. He breaks the tackle. Throw it to true freshman right there, Dixon, number 4. And you get downfield. Merritt goes for the strip and doesn't get it.
First and goal, a toss sweep to Ernest Graham. Got inside the 4, cartwheel down there. Gerald Dixon and Cornelius Griffin knocked him off his pins.
You know, just because Florida gets down inside the 20-yard line does not necessarily mean they're going to score. It's been 2 seasons for them. The last 5 games, they haven't done very well in scoring inside the 20-yard line.
They've got it to the 3 on the opening drive. Graham and Rod Frazier in the backfield. 2 tight ends set. They'll toss it to Graham. The option to the end zone. Touchdown. Aaron Kinney, the tight end. Three-yard touchdown pass, and it wasn't even the starting quarterback that threw it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it takes guts to get down there on the first drive of the game and toss the ball to a redshirt freshman, number 5, Graham, and let him throw it.
Chandler for the extra point. Up and good.
I never like taking the ball out of my quarterback's hands when you get down inside the 5. That's only the 12th, the 13th, the 15th reception for Kinney all year. 272 pounds of tight end, and Graham puts it right on the money.
Florida 7, Alabama nothing. 55-yard drive. Took only 4 plays.
It's the first pass that Ernest Graham has thrown on the season.
Jeff Chandler to kick. 20 Millins and Arvin Richard wait on the other end, and it's Millins from the 4. Down he goes before he got to the 15. Nice coverage on the special teams. Hagerbrook got down there to make the tackle. Andrew Zhao, sensational first game this year against Florida. His career game, as Bob mentioned earlier, 336 yards and 2 touchdowns. You can probably expect he won't see the defense he saw in that one, though.
No, they played a soft zone, and defensive coordinator John Hoke said that I made a mistake. We thought that we needed to play off. The noise was out loud in the swamp down in Florida. We didn't think we could hear our own checkoffs. We made a mistake. We're going to get after him here tonight, and Zhao knows it.
They start with a trio to the top of your screen. 3 wideouts from their own 14, and it's Zhao in the shotgun. Going to whip it out there and threw it behind Millins, incomplete. As we take a look at our starting lineups, the Dr. Pepper starting lineups. Here's the big eaters up front. Chris Samuels, an Outland Trophy finalist. Red Mill, Hogan, Cuthbert, and Ellington across the front wall. Millins is their big play guy, 64 catches. McAdley, the other wideout, and Terry Jones is the tight end. And joining Andrew Zhao in the backfield, Dustin McClintock is the lead man for one of the best in college football, Shaun Alexander. And it's 2nd down and 10 as Alabama has to start in a hole and already in a 7-point hole here 2 minutes into this game. Tight end Jones on the move. Here's a toss to Alexander. Deep dropped in his own backfield by Andre Davis. Defensively for Florida, they don't give up much on the ground. These guys are the reason. Alex Brown leads them in sacks with Warren, Gurley, and Chambers across the front. You just saw a whole bunch of Andre Davis, the linebacker, and he's joined out there by Mike McTeal and Eugene McCaslin. The secondary is young, but they got some good players back there. Benny Alexander scored a touchdown on an interception return during the regular season. Cromartie, Manuel, and Dixon round out the back four. Not a good spot to try to change much on 3rd down and 19. Millens in motion from the backfield. The throw out to him is incomplete. And Alabama's going to have to give it up, or they're going to be deep in their own end zone to punt. And their regular punter will not punt the first snap in this game. Lane Bearden will, according to the sideline. Now they're going to change that. They said that Patrick Morgan wouldn't be the punter of record for the first kick, but I think in this spot, whatever the disciplinary reason, went out the window.
Yeah, you're punting from your own end zone. You got your heels on the back line. We'll discipline him on the next one.
Bo Carroll waits back near the 50. High lazy kick. Carroll with a fair catch at the 40-yard line.
Nice job by Bo Carroll with all of his speed and all of his quickness. The sure-handedness comes up and gets good field position.
So Florida goes to work for the 2nd time offensively. The Dr. Pepper starting lineup. The Big Eaters up front for Florida. Mike Pearson, Carlisle has already made an All-American team. Yarborough, Blackshear, and Walker across the front wall. Darrell Jackson's already got a 32-yard reception. Kinney's got a touchdown catch. Travis Taylor's back from injury. And joining Jesse Palmer in the backfield, Frazier, the fullback, and Ernest Graham, the tail. Shotgun here, and 3 wideouts for Palmer at the 40-yard line. Plenty of time, delivers incomplete near the 30-yard line, and he got deposited after he let go of the football by Kenny King. And Kenny King is part of that defensive line that starts with Kendall Moorhead, who had a great game against Auburn, or they may not have won that game. Griffin and Grimes are inside. The linebackers, they're young and they're good, especially Salim Rashid. Miguel Merritt and Darius Gilbert round out the linebacking core, and in the secondary, the leading interceptor back there is Reggie Miles. Spencer, Dixon, and Lewis join him for the Alabama secondary. 2nd down and 10, Florida. 4 wideouts now from the gun for Palmer. Here comes the heat. He got rid of it down the middle. Tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Spencer, coming the other way. Spencer picks up a convoy and picks up an interception return to the 37-yard line. Pass intended for Travis Taylor, and it was in some traffic, Bob.
Yes, it was. It was a square end, and the defensive back did a nice job on it. Over here, he's trying to hit the man on a square end right here. He's going to get him. He's right there. Now, this is the man that tips it, but the man that picks it off is right here. Spencer comes over, sees it, and makes a nice big play.
So Alabama trails by 7, but now they've got good field position to work with their offense. Tyler Watson at quarterback now, and still no running room for Shaun Alexander. He lost 9 yards the first time he carried it. He lost almost a yard there before his forward progress stopped him.
In the last 2 years, the University of Florida has not been very good at the turnover margin ratio in the nation.
Zhao has a little trouble with the center snap. Gets the pass out, though. Complete, open field. Antonio Carter. Carter on his way across midfield. He might have a touchdown. He's going to be brought down at the 25-yard line. Benny Alexander stayed with it, or he'd have been gone 53 yards as it is. I think Hogan got a nice block out there in the middle of the field, and Carter knows how to turn the Jets on.
Carter comes across the formation, as you see right there, goes out of the picture. You roll to your left, you fake the pass, now you throw it back. You got 2 linemen and a tackle out there. Hogan gets out there, Samuels was out there. Carter's got all kinds of speed, but so is their speed with Alexander in that secondary.
Zhao here fakes the Statue of Liberty and throws long. And he almost had a touchdown. Tim Bowens made an adjustment, got turned around, did get his hands on it in the end zone, but it's incomplete.
And it was a bad decision. He shouldn't have thrown it because there was coverage there.
That one took a long time to develop, and it didn't develop very well.
Yeah, it was a fake. It was a fake reverse. You're going to see the reverse. Fake the reverse. He's going to come back. He's going to throw. He's going to fake the reverse over here, and then he's going to come back and throw. But look downfield. Right here, right there, he's covered. He's double covered, and he threw the ball. He threw it away from the coverage. If he hadn't thrown it so poorly, it would have been picked off.
2nd down and 15. Zhao's got only 1 completion. That 52-yarder. Wants to throw again and does, and has an open man now at the 25. McAdley trying to battle for extra yardage, and really only got back to the original line of scrimmage. Benny Alexander made the tackle.
Pick up some yardage. Don't make any big mistakes. Keep the drive going. Just get some points on the board. Your 3rd possession, you want to get down there and at least get on the board.
Their 3rd down conversion situation this year has been a pretty good one, especially against Florida in the first game this year. They were unbelievable. 11 of 20.
Yeah, not bad on 4th down either.
They got a 3rd down and a long 9 here. 4 wideouts. Millins in a slot over there on the left side. And Zhao from the gun. Has some time. Scans the field. Had it tipped and almost picked off. Somebody got a hand on it in the middle. Might have been Okendo Johnson, the linebacker, who was coming. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, if you can't get there, at least get your hands up. And Zhao, the quarterback, is responsible most of the time to get this ball past the lineman. Take a look from behind the defense. He's looking right where he wants to throw it. See, those defensive linemen are looking right at him. They got nothing else to do. They can't get to him, so they say, all right, when you start to throw, I'm jumping. And they put their hands up. Quarterback's got to look off the defensive lineman, if you can believe that.
Ryan Flugner will try a 42-yard field goal, and he missed that one badly. He didn't play the first time around due to an injury, and that one never had a chance. So Alabama got a 52-yard pass play. Then they got a penalty, found themselves in long yardage, and missed a 42-yard field goal. Still 7-0, the Gators.
He kicked that one like he kicked that winning extra point down in the swamp on October the 2nd. The second one just barely went in.
It was ugly. Well, the snap a little high, but he got the hold down.
Good hold.
Good hold, bad kick.
Yep. Well, he got the nerves out of his system.
That one's out of the way.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like that opening tee shot. Again, no gain. That's Chuck Marks on the carry. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, and Lynn Swan. The SEC championship game, Florida leads.
Here they come.
Here they come on a blitz. And it pays off.
Oh, did you see that?
Wow. Almost took the hand off that time, Darius Gilbert did.
Huh? This is pretty good. Gilbert gets in there. He sees the quarterback get the ball. He hands it to this guy. I said, I'll go after the quarterback. No, I'll get the other guy.
Ooh.
Gillespie says, hey, don't give it to me when there's a red shirt there. If I got no chance, I got all this speed stored up. Don't give it to me. You take the hit.
Gilbert considered the best cover linebacker Alabama's got. He covered Gillespie, I'll say that much. 3rd down and 14. Palmer rifles it out. Completes to Travis Taylor. Taylor trying to weave through traffic, but he only got back to about the 28-yard line, and Florida's going to have to kick it. Alabama's defense, after giving up that early touchdown, has done its job and done it well.
They have both defenses, after the first drive by Florida, have played very well.
Allen Ryan, first punt was a dandy. Benny Alexander caught it in midair. This time he can air it out all he wants, and Freddie Millins is waiting back at the 25-yard line. High snap. He gets it out of there, and Millins wants to clear out the people in front of him. It almost hit an Alabama player, but it went out of bounds anyway. So the Tides got it back at the 27-yard line. Tyler Watts comes back in. He and Zhao have shared this first quarter that is about one play from expiring. From the 27, the toss to Shaun Alexander. Found himself a little avenue, and he's got about 8 more yards as the first quarter comes to a close. Florida got an early touchdown. That's all we've got so far, 7-0. An ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Set to start the second quarter. Florida by a touchdown. The Dr. Pepper first quarter statistics. Alabama with a total yardage edge, mostly on that 53-yard pass play by Carter, and you see those 2 turnovers, each team with an interception.
And each team did not do anything with the interception. They had to punt following the interception. Florida took the opening drive down for a score.
Alabama on 2nd and short, goes to their bread and butter, and Shaun Alexander's in the clear across midfield and down to the 44-yard line. He's starting to get warmed up. 21 yards.
Did a nice job of just ignoring one of the defensive backs that was trying to tackle him. Right here on the right side, the corner's going to come up. That's Cromartie. And he just says, excuse me, but you're not tackling me right now. Moving on.
Alexander, 21 yards. Florida kept him pretty much in check in that first game early, and then he broke out near the end. Here they break out in 4 wideouts. And it's Millens again at the quarterback, a little quarterback draw. Old single wing with Freddie Millens here.
Normally a wide receiver, Freddie Millens, a high school quarterback, has gotten big play written all over him.
And he was one of the top high school quarterbacks in the state of Mississippi, and he can throw it too.
They spread 5 wide receivers out, everybody. The linebackers have to take off outside. It's a good call, but it probably won't work again because Florida's seen it one time now, and they'll keep somebody in there.
That's pretty interesting this week. Everybody asking Mike DuBose who's going to start at quarterback. And he said a couple of times, how about Freddie Millens? Well, he's played him twice now at that position.
He's started 3 different guys at quarterback.
Shaun Alexander, 4 more yards before Daryl Dixon can bring him down. As I mentioned, first 24 carries for Shaun Alexander, not much. But the last 2 times he touched it were the ones that counted. The touchdown that got it to overtime and the touchdown in overtime. And in fact, the last pass he caught in that game was also a touchdown.
I think he hurt him more catching the ball than he did running it.
Yeah, he did. He had 94 yards in the air.
Talking about all these quarterbacks that Alabama's playing, we got a scoop. The Bowls has played 3 quarterbacks. Spurrier's only played 1.
We knew we'd see 4. We didn't know that'd be the breakdown. First down, just inside the Florida 31. It's Millens now, and end around, and he found himself an opening. Freddie Millens on the run.
He's dynamite.
Down to the 8-yard line. And he went 22 yards in a hurry.
He caught 10 passes against Florida in the first game, and he's hurting them now in a different way. He's excitement.
They liken him a little bit to David Palmer. Remember old double twos when he played there?
Good call there.
Now it's 1st and goal, Alabama at the Florida 8-yard line. Going to give it to the fullback. And McClintock got about a yard, maybe 2. Rushing in the game so far, Alabama with the definite advantage. As Alexander's done some damage, Bohannon came in and Millens as well, and Florida's got 1 yard on the ground. Right now, Alabama would like to get 7 more yards to the end zone. They trail by 7. All rushing plays on this drive. Watch from the gun. They'll throw it here. Alexander out in the flat. And he's going to get flattened at about the 6-yard line. Nice job by the Florida defense. Mike Nattiel and Okendo Johnson out there to help on the stop.
Yeah, that was not drawn up the way Mike DuBose wanted it to go. And, of course, Spurrier with his defense getting up there, they wanted to, you know, sometimes you'll run a play in practice all week inside the 10-yard line and you say, oh, that's great, we're going to run that play when we get in there. Then you catch a different defense and you get a whole different look. And it doesn't look anything like what you expected.
Alex Brown just checked in at defensive end. He's been quiet and hasn't been on the field much for the Gators. Here they come out in a 4 wide-out group. Unless it's a quarterback draw, we're going to see a throw from the 6. Watts is hit. Down he goes. Alex Brown made the first hit. Gerard Warren cleaned up.
Well, those are the 2 top players in that defensive line. Alex Brown is 13. Because you don't want to let him go. You got to.
Nobody touched him.
Samuels was right there, and that's the first sack that Samuels has given up in quite a long time. He had 2 guys over on his side. He had Brown and the other one, and he let Brown go.
Ludner missed badly in his first kick attempt. This is a 29-yard field goal. And this one's right down Peachtree.
Told you got the nerves out of him. He's
11:03.
He's good now.
Remaining in the half. 7-3 Florida. 7-3 the Gators lead. Warren, the guy that got the sack after the hit by Alex Brown on the quarterback, and that's what forced the field goal. And Lane Bearden's got it teed up. Bo Carroll and John Capel waiting on it. Bo Carroll going to bring it from the 4. From inside the end zone, 4-yard deep, I should say. Got it out to about the 22-yard line. Well, we've got 10:52 to go in the half, and we have not seen Doug Johnson yet. Still Jesse Palmer at the controls. Palmer 3 out of 5, 43 yards and an interception. He's back to put it up again, and this one's a strike. Out to the 36-yard line, complete to Travis Taylor. Doug Johnson, sensational against Alabama, but in the 5 games since, he's only got the same amount of touchdown passes.
He's a screen now. He's screening. He's standing and screening so the other side can't see the signals that Steve is sending in, and Billy Young, the other quarterback, that does most of the signaling.
He's screening, and inside he's probably screaming.
He's screening and screaming.
First down, Florida, and Graham's got a nice block. And Graham trying to break free. He's got 13 yards, or close to it, and a first down. Milo Lewis finally hung on for dear life and dragged him down.
Nice running play. Florida has a good offensive line. One of the positive things this year, Florida has run the ball much better this year than they have in past years.
They averaged 4.7 a carry as a team. Graham didn't play in that first game in the regular season. Injured his thigh the previous week. His thighs look pretty good here. Got a couple more to midfield. Merritt made the tackle. And we're down to the 10-minute mark in the second quarter. Florida on the board with a touchdown, and Alabama missed a field goal and made one. That's where we sit at 7-3. Couple of 9-2 clubs, both 7-1 in the Southeastern Conference. Alabama on a 4-game winning streak. Florida coming off a loss to Florida State a couple weeks back. One that they had to get over and get ready for this one.
Yep.
2nd and 8 from midfield. Palmer throws, and that one should have been caught. Looked like it hit Darrell Jackson right in the 9. That was a bad spot, I guess.
Can't throw it and catch it, too. Somebody's got to be out there catching it. Tight end just goes to the outside, little curl on the inside, just throw it. Got to catch it in your hands. You catch it in your chest, it's going to bounce off of it.
Tried to use his body instead of his head. Now he's hitting himself in the head. No, he should have had it.
I think one of the things that Steve likes about Jesse Palmer is that he knows where to go with the ball, and he gets it there on time.
Went to the right guy, but the right guy just didn't hold it, so it's 3rd and 8. 4 wideouts now for Palmer.
They've had 3rd and 10, 3rd and 14, a lot of 3rd and longs.
Here comes the heat on him. Down he goes, and he almost lost the football to boot. Jarrett Johnson with a sack. A loss of 13.
From behind the defense, Johnson's going to make a big swing around to the right side. This defensive line is good balance. They all get a lot of sacks, and nobody has a lot of them, so there's one guy that you can single out on.
So just when Florida looked like it had something going offensively, they're forced to kick again. Some heat on the punter this time. He got it out of there. Not a bad kick. Millens, fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. 44-yard kick, no return. 7-3 Florida. in there at the tailback. Jones, the tight end who just caught it, shifts over to the left side. It's the toss to Bohannon. And he's got a blocker in front, broke a tackle, and he's got a first down. From one Shaun to another. 11 yards for Bohannon. Back in Atlanta, it's a first down Alabama now at the 43-yard line of Florida. Here's a counter. Shaun Alexander waiting for his blockers, and he's not going to find any. He's had some pretty good runs going the right direction, but he's had 3 that have dropped him for 3 yards or more in losses.
Counter. Defensive line gets some penetration. Davis flies over the top. Hardeman, a true freshman, number 42. 2 of the starting linebackers for Florida are hurt and out of the ball game. McCassin, as Lynn Swan told you about a little earlier, and Keith Kelsey didn't start the game. So 2 more true freshmen, Natil and Hardman, are in there in the linebacking corps.
Second. Play action, bootleg. Watts wants to throw back. Now sets and fires. Got Alexander out there. And almost intercepted. Alex Brown got back there in coverage and almost had an interception. Well, from a sack-happy defensive end to covering Shaun Alexander about 40 yards downfield.
Here's Brown on Samuels. Now he comes off of it. They were trying to get the ball to Alexander on a little sneak play down the sideline on Natil, the true freshman. Brown saw it. Brown, that was not Brown's responsibility. I know that he was not supposed to be down that far.
Well, he got back there and broke it up.
They're probably going to give him a minus on the play when they're grading the films, but they're going to say after they give him a minus, good play, good play.
Nice job.
Yeah, nice job.
Here comes the pressure on Watts. He's in trouble in the pocket, runs out of it, and got to about the 32-yard line. Daryl Dixon finally knocked him off his feet. And now decision time about whether or not this is going to be a long field goal attempt or not. They're going to give a fluke or the kicker a crack at it here.
Alabama has alternated quarterbacks on every series. Watts is normally the better runner of the 2.
So Ryan Flugner missed earlier from 42. He'll try from 48 here from the near hash mark. Trying to make it a one-point game. Kick on the way. Got plenty of legs.
He's got it.
He's got it. He got that bad one out of the way.
Boy, didn't he?
And now he's on a roll. With 2:03 remaining in the half, that cuts the lead to 1. The 7-6 now as Flugner hit field goals exactly 9 minutes apart. Lane Bearden to kick. And Bo Carroll and John Capel wait at the goal line. It's been Carroll all day, and he's got another one 2 yards deep. Bo Carroll's got great speed. Cut back across the 30 out to the 31-yard line. Florida's been shut down by this Alabama defense since that opening touchdown, and they almost got an interception there. Milo Lewis diving in front of Darrell Jackson. Almost had him one.
That's just a poor route by Jackson and an underthrow by Palmer. This game is developing into something that almost started the last time. He just dropped that ball. Should have been an interception. Milo Thomas would have had his 5th interception of the year. Time of possession, big for Alabama here. Almost 7 minutes more in the first half than Florida.
Florida struggling, as you see there, held without a first down 4 of the 6 times they've had the ball. Palmer back to throw again. Going to throw the same type of pass. This one is intercepted. Picked off by Lewis. They tried it twice. It backfired both times. The second time, it'll change possession.
Well, he went back to it because it was open. Right down here, it's single coverage. You just got to go down and run to the out. Darrell Jackson, the ball's thrown back to the inside. You want to have that ball hanging. Milo does a nice job. Good vision, sees the quarterback all the way. That is his 5th interception.
Right before that play, I was going to ask you if you were surprised we hadn't seen Doug Johnson. I didn't have a chance to ask you.
Yeah.
And there's the quarterback coach and the quarterback talking about it. From the 36, Alabama, great field position. Zhao on a bootleg, got his fullback. McClintock down the sideline near the 20. Andre Davis got him down, but he picked up 15 yards.
Charlie Stubbs is the quarterback coach that calls the plays. I thought he did a nice job in the first time these two teams played, and I think he's doing a nice job here. The thing that he's got going for him is he's got a running game. The Gators don't have a running game. Only 4 yards rushing for the Gators in the first half, whereas the Tide has almost 100 yards rushing to this point.
They moved it down to the 21 of Florida, looking to take the lead before halftime. They trail 7-6. Zhao on a toss to Alexander, and he wants to throw. Now he decides to pull it down and take off on his own, and he got it to about the 17. Good. A couple receivers down there.
Good decision, but they had a couple, and it was a good decision to pull it down, not to throw it up. You got to make it look like it's going to be a run, and they didn't do a good enough job because the corner on that side, Alexander, had him covered.
And Mike Nattiel's the guy that put the hat on Alexander at the 17-yard line. Alabama's got 2 timeouts left. We're under a minute and a half. Here comes the blitz on Zhao. Loads and fires behind Millens. Incomplete.
This is not a real sharp passing game, passing attack. They're 10th in the conference in passing. They don't make hay running, passing the football. They make it on the ground.
Florida's not exactly lighting it up through the air tonight.
No, they're not.
Cuthbert, or rather Red Mill, is shaken up. He's going to limp off. Saw him holding his knee or his lower leg on that last play. So now it's 3rd down and 16. 5 receivers for Zhao. Steps up in the pocket to the end zone. Flag down, touchdown. McAdley in front of Cromartie, and Alabama's in the end zone. Yeah, you give them that much time to throw, and they're going to do a number on you. 27 yards on a 3rd and 16.
You got it. You give them that much time. 3rd and 16. Just throw it down, get a shot. If not, we'll come back and kick the field goal.
And they're going to go for 2. On the left hash, everybody comes over. Alexander will flank Zhao here. And he sends his receiver, Sam Collins, in motion. Zhao goes to Collins. I think he's a little short. Didn't quite make it. Just about a foot shy. Nice job by the defense. But they got the touchdown on this play from Zhao.
Here's the touchdown. The receiver out here just going to go down and just kind of hang around in the end zone. Right here, he looks the middle linebacker, the free safety off, giving all that room at the top to throw the football. Just good position.
So they head off. They got the first points early. First couple minutes of the ball game. It was 7-0 Florida after a nice kick return to open the game, but Alabama has come back. Got 2 field goals and a touchdown, and Steve Spurrier's Woodland Swan.
Coach, everybody was talking about the quarterback. Which one would you start? Well, second half, would you go with Doug?
Yeah, Doug's shoulder was bothering him. We're going to get him in early, but we're going to try to work on it at halftime and let him try to play. See if he can do something.
In this ball game, the Alabama team is starting to dominate possession, number of plays. How do you correct that? How do
we hadn't made a 3rd down. Our offense stinks right now. Hopefully we can do something because we're not too far behind.
Coach, thank you. Brant?
I think that stinks says it in a nutshell. 12-7. Alabama leads in the SEC championship in Atlanta as we head to New York. John Saunders and Terry Bowden. Guys.
Steve Spurrier went through a myriad of emotions in that first half, as Bob and I chronicled a little bit before halftime.
Pumped up by that first touchdown, the disappointment of the interception,
and then sometimes just can't even look. And the disgusting penalties that have driving him nuts over the course of the first half of the game, and all season long that's been a problem for him. They won't get the football first. Alabama will, and that's Freddie Millens. Chandler to kick. Fielded at about the 6, and Richard drops out there by the 22-yard line. Let's check in with Swanee.
Well, I talked with Mike DeBose as he came out for the second half, and he said he will continue to switch those quarterbacks, Andrew Zhao and Tyler Watts, in the second half. He thinks both are playing extremely well, so he wants to go with them. He said this is going to be a game of attrition. It's a very physical football team, a very physical football game. He has to go after Florida, not relinquish anything to him, because he feels like they can strike from anywhere. They can still get some points on the scoreboard. He says it's going to come down to a physical ball game and who wants it the most.
That quarterback exchange is going right here, Swanee, because it's Watts to open up the third, and Shaun Alexander about a 3-yard carry off the left side. Dr. Pepper first half statistics. You can see the time of possession dominated by Alabama. Almost 19 minutes, 2 turnovers, a costly one that led to a touchdown. And the passing yardage, you don't see Florida go a first half with only 60 yards very often, Bob.
Oh, yeah, exactly. 70 total yards, 15 more plays for Alabama, almost 8 more minutes. And Steve said after the first game, we couldn't get them off the field. And it looks as though the same MO is happening here tonight.
That's the 5 wideout grouping for Zhao from the gun. Here comes a Gator blitz. Zhao throws complete. It'll be a first down or very close to Tim Bowens. And I think he's got the first.
Behind the quarterback, 1-man blitzes, 5 rushing, 5 blocking. Slides to the outside so he can see a little bit better. And then Bowens makes a nice play by coming back and catching it for a first down.
One of Zhao's best throws of the night, probably, right there. Now he comes out as a wide receiver. And it's Millens at quarterback again. 4th snap for him. There he goes. Just going to take off with it. Inside the 40 to the 39. 6-yard pickup. So that time, by having Zhao out as a wide receiver, you don't give anything away defensively.
That's right. You didn't have to substitute. You didn't change the formation at all. And what you're doing is you're running against the Florida defense with a couple of freshmen at linebacker that are not used to playing. Natil and also Hardman are in there for the injured Kelsey and McCaslin.
Right now, Freddie Millens has taken more snaps at quarterback for Alabama than Doug Johnson has for Florida. Here's Alexander. It'll be about a yard short of the first down. Marquand Manuel made the stop. Manuel, the emotional leader of that defense. Leading tackler coming in with 104. Makes the stop there. Almost 2 yards short of the first down.
What a surprise year it's been for Alabama, huh? Mike DeBose at the beginning of the year. The problems that he had before the season, and then losing to Louisiana Tech in the 3rd or 4th game of the season. He said that turned him around. It brought him together. And then the big victory at Florida.
Millens on an end around. Out to the sideline. I don't think he got the first down. Darrell Dixon made the stop. And it's going to be 4th down and about a half yard, I think. Alabama's got their offense still out there. Oh, it's 4th down and all of a yard. After they finally spot it just inside the 36. Zhao comes in. 4th down. Remember, they had a 4th down when they handed it to Shaun Alexander. He scored a touchdown in the first game this year with these guys. This time all they're asking him to do is get a first down, and he might have it. It's going to be awfully close. They might have to bring the sticks out to look at this one. Mike Natil made the tackle.
Now when when you make something that close, you got to have luck on your side.
Absolutely.
One way or the other. I mean, you got a bunch of guys with bringing this chain in. You know, sooner or later they're going to have this done by radar
or something, laser or something.
Yeah.
So they got the first. They keep the drive going. They lead 12-7. They'll toss it to Alexander. Broke a tackle. Got down to the 20. He gets better as the game goes on, it seems.
Yeah. And they're in no hurry. They know as long as they're on the field that the offensive Spurrier and the Gators can't get out there. Look at the offensive line doing a nice job. Hogan is 74. Cuthbert on that side.
Hogan, a Georgia native, the big fella out of Valdosta, the great high school programs down in South Georgia. And he's the anchor, and he's got Zhao under center on a 2nd and 6. Here's the counter to Alexander. Maybe to the 18. Natil made the tackle. We'll bring up 3rd down situation.
Look at the 3rd down conversions tonight. 5 of 12. They did pretty good against Florida. 11 of 20, but the key thing is Florida can't make a 1st down. Has not made a 1st down tonight. Excuse me, 3rd down.
3rd down and 13. Zhao, pump fakes, wanted to go deep, hit from behind, the ball is loose. Alabama covered it, but that's the first time they've been able to put the leather to Zhao, and it was Anthony Mitchell.
You just can't wait that long. You can't roll out, then pump, and wait that long. Here he goes. Pump. Do your pump. Now you got to throw it. You can't wait. Now you're going to get hit from behind every time.
He got around Cuthbert and got the hit on. And that's another long field goal attempt by Ryan Flugner. He's hit from 48 tonight. This one will be a 49-yard attempt. Did he get enough of it? You bet he did. Best thing that could have happened to him was missing that first field goal. Yeah, you got it. 15-7 Alabama. The Biggins on the sideline having a big drink after getting another field goal. Working on Warren on the sideline for Florida. Lower right leg, or maybe his right knee. Chris Kent to kick off. High, short kick. Somebody better hustle up on that one. And a football. Still Florida ball. Oh, that could have been a huge disaster. Chuck Marks, the guy trying to make the catch here. Not much spirit for the Florida offense unless they get something happening. Palmer gonna go deep. Got a man out there, Darrell Jackson, and it's knocked away by Lewis at the very last moment.
Yeah.
That would have been a touchdown.
And he had it if he could have gotten it there.
That's the one they've been looking for.
Well, this is where they needed Doug Johnson. Johnson's got the stronger arm. Jackson with the speed, just throw it over the top, down the field. If you would have thrown it 3 or 4 yards further, Jesse Palmer has got maybe a little bit better mindset, maybe a little bit more intelligence for the system. Johnson's got the strong arm.
Smaller caliber gun.
Yep.
2nd down and 10. Palmer sidearms it. That's the one he almost had picked off by Lewis, and he got his hands on that one.
Yeah.
Let's check in with Swanee.
Brad, here's the history on Doug Johnson's injury. He had a surgery in March of 1998, and as a result of that surgery, he developed tendonitis in the rotator cuff. Now, talking to the team doctors, said it started to bother him this year on October 9th during the LSU game. He got better. Then against Georgia, October 30th, it got worse again. Got better. He thought he was over it, but coming into tonight's ball game, it seemed to flare up again. It's tendonitis in the rotator cuff as a result of surgery in March of 1998.
And we don't even know if we'll see him again.
Gators have not made a 3rd down all night.
They're trying one here. Palmer over the middle, got a man open. Going to have to scramble to get the first, though. Close. Merritt made the tackle on Graham.
Going to go for it.
with 2 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And down 15-7. Here's the Florida gamble. 4th down and 1. Quarterback keeper Palmer got it. He didn't get much. He didn't need much.
That's a quick call, partner.
Think I jumped the gun? I've already been wrong once tonight.
Yeah, they didn't even look. You're pretty good. You know this stuff.
It's getting closer to midfield. I can see it better.
Possessions tonight. The first possession, 55 yards and a touchdown. And the next 7, not very good.
Wow.
5 punts, 2 interceptions, only 17 yards.
Well, they're loading up at Alabama. They're bringing a blitz again. Palmer down the middle. Nobody home. Intended for Alex Willis in the middle of the field, and he's looking for a flag and couldn't find one.
The blitz for Palmer is a good situation. It's an opportunity. We always point out when they're blitzing because it heightens everything. If the offensive line and the backs can block them, the quarterback knows he has an opportunity to make big plays because there's a lot of area in the field downfield, and there's single coverage everywhere. He didn't pick out the right guy then.
Defensive coordinator Alice Johnson sending in his signals. His team's played very well.
They have, and they've picked their spots to blitz.
2nd down and 20 at the 44. Just when Florida had it on Alabama's side of the 50, they're back on the other side, and on a quick opening draw play, they're going to get back in Alabama territory. Gillespie inside the 45, back across the original line of scrimmage. Got 12 on the carry, and now they've got at least a manageable 3rd down situation coming up.
This offensive line is a good pass blocking line and good draw blocking. This is a little draw play. Gillespie, with all the speed in the world you'd want, is back playing after a broken hand kept him out for a few weeks.
Broke that hand against the Georgia Bulldogs and missed the last 3 games, Vandy and South Carolina and Florida State. 3rd down and 8. Last play of the quarter. Palmer fires incomplete. Brian Hagebrook had his hands on it, couldn't hold it.
You got to make that play.
End of 3. Alabama 15, Florida 7. An ABC Sports presentation of college football returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Barring overtime, 15 minutes left. SEC championship presented by Dr. Pepper heads to the 4th quarter with Alabama's fans having something to cheer about. Florida Gators fans have not. 15-7. And another Gator punt coming up from Allen Ryan. Low snap. Got the kick away, though. It's a dandy. High hanger. Millen's fair catch, and he'll take it at about the 7. Florida has struggled all night, Bob.
Well, you've got to pick up 3rd downs, and you've got protection. You've got the receiver open. Everything is like you draw it up on the board, except the players don't make the plays, and that's all you can do.
And that's exactly right, Bob. On Steve Spurrier's team this year, he's void of a star, a guy who steps up and makes a play consistently, and he's void of an individual who's going to come back and help the quarterback. You've got one guy on this offensive unit, Darrell Jackson, who's been consistent. Nobody else has stepped up the bat for his team.
The quarterback exchange continues for Alabama. It's Watts on a handoff to Alexander, and again that Florida rush defense draped all over it. Our Dr. Pepper statistics through 3 quarters. Here's how it looks.
Yeah.
Alabama 286, and look at that time of possession again.
It's 15 minutes in favor of them. Florida with only 6 first downs and 112 yards of total offense. 0 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. This Florida offense is the #1 ranked offense in the conference and the #1 scoring offense in the conference and the 10th best offense in the country.
And as you said about Alabama the last time they had the ball, they don't even care what they get out of it. They went 14 plays, only went 23 yards the last time they had it. Maybe the Gator defense can make a play to get their team back in it. Alexander knocked down as he crossed the 6. Kendo Johnson, the linebacker who's played extensively tonight, and Mike Mateo combined on the stop. And here comes a Another third down situation.
You start thinking about Alabama, and they say, wait a minute now. We're up on these guys. It's the fourth quarter. We're up by 8 points in the championship game. Maybe we can win this championship.
Right.
Maybe we can beat Florida twice in 1 year. Beat Spurrier the same year twice in a row.
Here's a dangerous spot, 3rd and 11, inside your own 10. Watts. He's going to keep it. He's got some open field, and he's got a first down, Alabama. Tough run.
It just looks like the guys in the crimson shirts want it more than the guys in the white shirts. He's in his own end zone. Now watch this. Nobody tackles him. He hit him about 3 or 4 yards short of the first down, and the guy in the crimson shirt made the first down, and they keep the drive going.
Picked up 14 on a 3rd and 11, and now it's first down, Alabama. They can go back to using the clock as their ally. From the 21. Here's Shaun Alexander. Only got a couple of. 12:45. They lead by just a score. If you consider if Florida could score and go for 2, we'd have a tie game.
And the thing that Alabama needs to do offensively, first of all, obviously, don't give them any breaks. Don't turn it over. Take some time off the clock. Make some first downs. They don't need touchdowns. If they can move it down and kick a field goal, Flugner's having a career day.
Yes, he is.
I mean, after that first miss, he's been solid from outside of 40 yards.
And again, Millens lines up at quarterback. Water bugs his way back to the near side, trying to get the corner. He's got it. Freddie Millens all the way. He's going to go. This will be an Alabama touchdown. 77 yards. Oh, now they do believe. Extra point attempt upcoming. Career-long play for Alabama. A season-long play, that is. Flugner for the point after. And it's up and good. What a play by Freddie Millens. Electrifying. From the shotgun.
Look at how many back tackles he breaks. 14. My man, the quarterback, Watts, gets the block for springing.
(22-7) Alabama, just under 12 minutes to go in the ball game. Freddie Millens all night long for the Florida defense has been an accident waiting to happen, and he just caused an 11-body pileup on a 77-yard touchdown run. High short kick. Florida's going to call for the fair catch. Oh, that's going to be a penalty. Didn't see the fair catch call apparently, and the hit after the play will give Florida a little bit more real estate to work with. And now Florida and Steve Spurrier really in a tough spot. They trail 22-7. Palmer had it knocked down, and it's intercepted. Jared Johnson. This is another Alabama touchdown. Reggie Grimes with a defensive lineman dream. Reggie's never done that before.
He may never want to do it again.
And now the Tide more than believes they can beat the Gators twice in a year. They know they can. They're 11:36 away from the Southeastern Conference Championship. Fludner. This one from 35 yards away.
Who needs it?
Yeah, who needs it right now?
We don't need it.
Missed extra from long range, but it's 28-7. First an offensive touchdown, and one play later, a tip ball by Johnson, and Reggie Grimes did the rest. Christmas may have come early for the Crimson Tide. Reggie Grimes, a big old package under the tree, just took an interception return for another touchdown. It is 28-7. And it's a stocking full of coal on the other side right now for Steve Spurrier. 31 turnovers, 102nd in the nation. And tonight, 3 interceptions, 1 return for a score. And now Florida's in some deep trouble. Bo Carroll, and he dropped the football. Got it back. But Florida now trails 28-7 here in the Southeastern Conference Championship, where we welcome the commissioner of the conference, Roy Kramer. Coach, since you sat down, we've had 2 touchdowns here. We haven't been able to get John.
I turned that game upside down, didn't it?
We had some excitement.
We really did. We really have. Even Bob got excited about that quarterback throwing a block.
Absolutely. Over 74,000 here again tonight. Obviously, great success this game has become.
Really is. Even though we had a rematch, everybody was concerned a little bit, and we had the tightest ticket we've had in the history of the game, so it's turned out great.
Palmer from the shotgun. And flares it out. The backfield, Graham, not much there. Defense has been tough in both cases tonight.
Think back 8 years ago, Roy, when the game first started over in Birmingham, the first 2 years. Had some success, but it really took off when you moved it over here.
Well, it really did, and it's grown every year. It's grown into a real celebration of the end of the season for us. And, of course, when you have 2 great programs like Florida and Alabama in it, and as we had last year, of course, with Tennessee and Mississippi State, it just continues to grow a little bit every year. We sold it out in June this year, which gives you some idea of how the game is growing.
It's like a happening. It's indoors. It's at a great city in the South.
Right.
I don't know how it could be any better.
Well, it's sort of a weekend festival. We bring in our legends, and we have our fanfare, and we bring back a lot of our former players, and it sort of does become a whole celebration of a Southeastern Conference tradition in football.
Well, 3 teams in the decade have come through this game to go on to national championship matchups and victories, and not only talking about how the SEC championship game has become a success, but much to the dismay of some, Roy, and we'll talk about it after this play, the BCS so far has been kind of a success. Palmer to throw, high and incomplete. But the BCS picture for this year, everybody was worried about who was going to play and who was going to be in the big game, and the bowl championship series standings, Florida State and Virginia Tech up there on top.
Well, we'll wait till tomorrow morning to get the final numbers, but it certainly looks that way. And, we keep saying you got to wait till the end of the season. Everybody wants to forecast what's going to happen. And about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and as we said all along, you have to wait till you get down to that last weekend to finally see where it is. But I think we'll have another great year this year as well.
Another punting situation coming up for Florida, something that we have had to say way too many times for the Gator fans tonight. High kick, fair catch. Called for and taken at about the 38-yard line. Alabama's got the ball back. They've got the lead 28-7 with 10:33 left in the ball game. And now the question that we'll have, if this game holds the way it's going right now, who's going where out of this one? Alabama, they're headed to the bowl championship series, it appears, but where are they going to play?
Well, obviously that will be a pick for both the Fiesta and the Orange Bowl. The Fiesta Bowl will have first choice because the Orange Bowl has already exercised their choice and has taken Michigan. And they'll have their choice. The Fiesta Bowl will have their choice tomorrow morning, and we'll just have to wait and see what they come up with.
You got to have some excitement coming out of that meeting tomorrow morning.
Well, we got to have a little excitement to find out where we are. That's right. And but I think we're going to have 4 great bowl games this year in the BCS. I really think we are, and I think the championship game will be a truly outstanding game again this year.
Shaun Alexander on the carry for about 4. If Alabama is the Fiesta's choice, would the Orange present orange jersey Tennessee team against Michigan, maybe?
Well, they could. They still hold Kansas State in the pool, so they could make a decision
right.
And they'll just have to make that decision, and that's up to the Orange Bowl once the Fiesta Bowl makes their choice.
Second down coming up. 10 minutes left. Roy, we're going to let you go back and enjoy the game. You throw a heck of a party.
Good to have you guys here.
Roy Kramer, Commissioner of the Southeastern Conference. Another successful event here, and if you've never had a chance to come here, it is a great game to come to. As Roy said, all week long the festivities are that way. Shaun Alexander, he got around the corner that time. One of his best runs of the night. Second longest for him tonight. He had a 21-yarder earlier. That's for 15. And Alabama's got everything working now with 9:41 remaining.
And behind the defense. This is a sight, if you're a number 4 manual, you don't like. You're out there by yourself with Shaun Alexander, and he can make you miss. He can run over you. He can high-step you. He can do a lot of things to you.
89 yards he's had to work for him. Almost the exact numbers he put up in that many rushes early in that first game. And they're going to be leading by more, maybe. McClintock all the way down inside the 10. The fullbacks had some big runs, but none bigger than that one.
The defense is keying in so much on the tailback and halfback. They're forgetting about McClintock right up the middle. The offensive line, we said, one of the better ones around, with Hogan and Cuthbert and Ellington, Samuels, Redmill, and Portis in there.
You know, in rematches, sometimes it comes down to doing something you didn't do before. Last ball game, McClintock only had 8 yards, and he didn't catch any passes. Those runs today and the pass receptions today, I think, make a big difference, Bob.
Yep, I agree. That was a career-long 37-yarder, Swatty. As a matter of fact, normally being the lead man for number 37. And Alexander takes it down to the 7-yard line. 275 rushing yards. Florida's got 29.
Well, normally in rematches, Spurrier has done pretty well over the years. Well, 3-1 in rematches, but the one that comes to mind is the Florida State, where they lost at the end of the year and then went down to the Sugar Bowl and won the national championship in 1996.
And beat this Alabama team to get there.
Yep.
Shaun Alexander is going to have a touchdown. Finally got him in the end zone with 3:58 to go. And the Alabama route is on. And Mom and Dad looking on. Carol and Curtis Alexander just saw their baby boy take it in from 7 yards out. Now the ball loose, covered back at the 32. Shaun Alexander has made it 34-7 Alabama. Well, it's all Alabama now. And the Florida sideline can only hang their head and hope this next 3 minutes and 58 seconds passes in a hurry.
There you go.
Probably the Citrus Bowl is where Florida would probably find themselves following this game. Atlanta, the Alabama fans are going to find themselves a Budweiser in about 3.5 minutes. Chuck Marks brought down as some of the Alabama backup players getting a chance to shine. Gary Barnes on the tackle.
Talk about surprise teams, and Alabama certainly has been a surprise team this year. Stanford, what about Stanford coming from 3-8, going 8-3 in a weak Pac-10 this year? Hawaii going from 0-12. June Jones doing a nice job out there.
Second down and 17. You might have seen some of the players on the sideline. I'm sure whether they get a trip to the Fiesta Bowl or the Orange Bowl, they're going to be happy with either of them, but I know a lot of them are holding on to oranges down there on the sideline.
There's Mal Moore, the new athletic director. He was an assistant coach for many years. And a lot of people feel that that is the right man to come in and hold that position.
Quarterback in 62 for the Bear.
He ties
Call him
together.
the Dozier Flash.
Yeah, he ties together a lot of alumni, a lot of the cross section, a lot of the Alabama people.
They hope to reunite the Alabama family. They think he's the guy to do it, and Mike DuBose, I think, is a coach that's in his corner, and that's going to help Mike's cause as well. But I don't know if there's any better XLR than a 10-win season, and that's before the bowl game. And those guys are getting happy on the sideline. Shaun Alexander showing what victory feels like, and Steve Spurrier showing what 2 losses to the same team in 1 season, and the perplexing way that his team has played. He can't figure it out. We asked him the other day if it's basically driving him nuts, and he admitted that it is, and this one's going to drive him even crazier.
Well, it's quarterback play, number one, and it's also wide receiver play. The receivers are not running proper routes, not running the right depths, and not holding onto the ball, dropping balls too much.
Florida has no choice but to punt. They get a good one, and it rolls all the way down inside the 10, down to about the 8-yard line. Andrew Zhao didn't have to do much at quarterback tonight. Freddie Millins did most of the damage at quarterback, as a matter of fact. And those 2 guys embrace the Sears National Championship Trophy. That's the prize that awaits whoever survives the Nokia Sugar Bowl in New Orleans on January 4th. You'll see it on ABC, and somebody takes that piece of hardware back to their respective school, and it's not a bad recruiting tool either.
For sure.
Oops. He avoided one and got hit from behind.
He knew that was coming.
That was a double sneak attack there. Bohannon down the sideline and run out of bounds, or he might have been off to the races. Well, it's going to be a happy night for Mike DuBose. Today's Chevrolet players of the game. And this one, Freddie Millins, a multi-purpose quarterback / wide receiver from the University of Alabama, and Mike Nattiel, who played as hard as he possibly could, had 13 tackles for the Gator defense. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund, and beginning this year, Chevrolet also donates $1,000 to 2 high schools.
I was just saying June Jones did a great job in Hawaii, but I think the coach of the year has got to go to Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech.
Well, he's done a remarkable job.
The job that he's done up there.
Well, now we might have some more whistles and penalties before this thing's over. 35 seconds. Our New York remote coordinator, Vince D'Addario. Kevin Behrman, our college football technical director, Calvin Haywood. Directed College Football Today. College Football Today produced by Charles Coplin. Computer stats done by Craig Rothberg. Our stage manager, Laura Murphy. My spotter, Clint Deans. Pat McGrath, our statistician. Assistants to the producer, Chapman Downs and Praven Martin. Technical operations manager, Jay Gleason. Joe Alvarado is our production manager. Associate director, Fred King. Margaret Schaefer, our associate producer. Jeff Suarez, our technical director. Chip Dean directed. Jay Rothman produced. Coordinating producer of ABC's College Football's Bob Goodrich. The vice president of productions, John Filippelli, and the president and executive producer of ABC Sports is Howard Katz. The Southeastern Conference football champion for 1999 is the Crimson Tide of Alabama. They win it in the Georgia Dome, and they win it handily. They trailed by 7. They came back and routed Florida 34-7 to go to 10-2 on the season. And now the BCS awaits. Final score, Alabama 34, Florida 7. It's a happy time for Chris Samuels and Shaun Alexander and company. They did do what everybody thought was the impossible. They beat Florida twice in the same season. Final score, 34-7 Alabama. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. For Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, I'm Brad Nessler. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence.